For this latest Natural Capital report, it's the first time that we've started pulling together the data for the BIOSCAN project. This is with the Wellcome Sanger Institute, and we're one of 76 partners all across the UK. And we put up a malaise trap for 24 hours every month. And we've been doing this for nearly 2 years now, and will hopefully carry on for 5 years. And it's really interesting to see how the numbers on our estates are looking so far. We've caught nearly 2,500 invertebrates overall on Bunloit and a similar number on Beldorney. On Bunloit there are 291 named species already. We're planning to do a lot more analysis on these species and interpret what they mean and whether there are any notable species and what they indicate about the habitats in which they're living.